Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Eliel. In this incarnation, we have Mercury today transiting the last degree of Virgo, the degree 29, and making its last opposition with Saturn retrograde in Pisces, as I mentioned yesterday, but also creating opposition with Neptune retrograde in Aries. This is going to be perfected tomorrow while Mercury enters Libra. Therefore, if you are experimenting this kind of mental fog, this sensation that you are in a place but like floating in other plane, or this dizziness, this response to Neptune. And I wanted to mention this. I also mentioned this the last week with the Pisces eclipse, because this mental fog has a function. It is to dissolve certain mental focuses or activities in which we could be focused, that could represent a distraction, but not truly connection with ourselves, or at least this is not something that the soul requires right now, and we have to put a boundary, Saturn. So each one of us will have to recognize with honesty if we are, centering ourselves in one thing or several things, or sustaining a conversation, or making an activity that is truly aligned with our inner self. The same activity for one person could be evasion, and for other not. I can put order in my house, but if I am doing that to not deal with a situation or an important decision, that turns into escapism. So this is why from the outside we cannot judge what is right or wrong, at least not from this perception of the logic disconnected from the intuition. Many times when I do the channelings in the other channel that I have in Spanish, depending the particular circumstance, I consult, I ask if a person is making a decision that is truly aligned with their soul, so that can be shown. I channel in images. So I require to do this many times, because the cognitive, the information that we can obtain from our mental processes, regarding what situations are in its mask. It is not something that we can detect in the first instance, and other times it could seem to be more clear. So with this, what I'm trying to say, this video is totally Neptunian. The way that I am communicating this, the oppositions between Mercury and Neptune are moments where the logic and the mental processes could be faced, could be in an opposition with our inner voice. And whether this is through an experience and a specific experience that is being materialized in our reality, or an inner contradiction that perhaps it is causing confusion, where doubts could be generated, because tomorrow Mercury in Libra, it is very common, the shadow of this transit, to be between the two options, to have to make a choice between two paths. And when everything is too much chaotic inside of us, when the doubt turns into chaos, it is like the water, we have to wait to the water to be settled so we can see clearer. And for what this eclipse implies, for many people this is representing the sensation of lack of order. Perhaps it is not only a sensation, but you dealing with experiences that are actually feeling chaotic. And the chaos, mainly it is about things not being adapted to what one considers order to be, but that chaos is always operating in a higher order. And this is the path that each one of us right now have to transit to develop this maturity with Saturn retrograde in Pisces of our emotional intelligence, to learn to recognize love in different experiences, and the love that can awaken in us, but also the learning, the teaching, even if from the outside situations don't seem to be containing this. And tomorrow Mercury enters in this cardinal of air, and it is opening the doors to this energy that is reaching to us with the next equinox, because the sun enters in Libra, in the degree 0 of Libra. And life invites us to seek for harmony, to turn aware of what we require right now to generate that balance. especially inwards, because there could be things that we are sustaining on the outside in this false harmony, precisely, or this apparent absence of conflict, that are operating in detriment of what we really need right now. And the energy, of course, it is going to be turned to the circumstances that are very linked with relationships, but also linked with justice, with making decisions that are just, that are fair. And these decisions are not always related to how we are conceiving reality mentally. Many times, to attain this inner peace, we have to leave a situation, even if it seems that we are losing something in that experience. And other times we have to invest energy, even if that is not the thing that we desire to do the most. So with this opposition between Mercury in Libra and Neptune retrograde in Aries, to find this middle point or to reequilibrate a circumstance requires from this inner listening, to go beyond the moral values conditioned, from our mind, and to be able to connect with the values of the soul, because this is not about absence of values or reciprocity, but it is the divinity that inhabits us, the one that is guiding us to the most elevated path, where, with this eclipse, there are big possibilities of doing these great closures, great karmic closures, and integrating lessons that are enabling us to move to the next level. Many people could have experimented this before, when we are surrendering to what life presents. Many things are reestablished, perhaps in a better way from what we were experimenting before, or we can find a new perspective of beauty that responds to Libra and love in those circumstances. So thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.